from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. Let me get funky.
Let's lose our mind.
Let me get funky.
Constantly changing my mind. Feels like I'm burning inside. Will it ever be different? Will we always be distant? 'Cause something that I need to tell you. Maybe we can do this together. Grab my car, let's go for a ride, yeah. We don't need to try. 'Cause something that I need to tell you. Maybe we can do this together. Grab my car, let's
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your VS Round 7 match between EXPYTHONS and EXPENGUINS. This is a Pool B match, and I am joined by the legendary Falliser. How are you doing, Falliser?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Excited for this match. It's a bit of a derby match with two teams from the Expanders clan. So very excited to see how this one's going to go down. What are your predictions, Skill? Who do you think is going to win? Who's got the upper hand in this match?
Well, I did tell you before, and that I do believe this will be a close one. I don't know. I mean, it's so early. There's already been a goal. I don't know. I'll give me time to like the second game, because the first game is always the feel it out game. So I can't like give my honest prediction. How about you?
That's completely fair. I think both teams definitely have their skills. As Luckstar ties it up there, both teams definitely have their advantages over the other team. I think we were definitely looking at Luckstar on the blue side and possibly Serenity on the other side, just to be the rocks for their team and sort of do those solo plays that are going to, the teams the goals.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Serenity and Luckstar are the two players that have netted themselves goals as DX. While we are still doing the intro for the match, the goals just keep going in as DX just catches Rocky off guard with that inside little touch. As you see EXPYTHONS go 2-1 up in the series. Very, very scory type game we have on our hands. So we'll see if this keeps going on and if teams will just bunker down and get that defense going. As I did mention, the first game is always the feel it out game. So players are still feeling out the other team, seeing where they like to attack, how their defense is structured. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. As we do see an open net from Serenity, but he's not able to get that ball into the net. As Hamburger quickly on the sidewall, but Friction will meet him there. And Luckstar has to go up early for Rocky, but Rocky does beat him out. And it's a tied game with not even 2 minutes gone, fellas.
Sure. Very aggressive game coming out here from both teams. And you talk about a feeling out game where I don't think either of these teams are unaware of how the other team plays, both being within the Expanders org. So I think it's definitely going to be a lot more aggressive, a lot more in your face, as we've seen in the first 2 minutes. And we will see how it progresses from here on. But tied up 2-2. Let's see where it goes.
No, we will see as this ball is a little bit dead in the midfield. Rocky has an off-the-wall play. He goes on the ceiling, trying to be fancy, as DX did try and meet him up early. And it seems like there was a double backboard commit from the side of EXPYTHONS, as there's a little bit of a defensive scramble to get the ball out, but DX is able to pinch it out. Luckstar up early for this. Serenity waiting on the corner wall, playing it patiently, but he's not able to get that second touch, as it's a little triple commit in front of net, and Friction is able to slot them a goal there. It seems like it was a little bit of fluster in net. We've seen a lot of double and triple commits off the backboard, so that's definitely something for the teams to just watch out for.
Definitely a nerves match. I mean, this is a tournament match. You don't want to be losing any games because that takes you further away from the win. And you can definitely see some nerves coming out from both teams. I think there was a chance there where EXPENGUINS had an open net for quite a while, and they just couldn't slot it in. And same there, the ball was hanging out in front of the net for a long time, and eventually there just came too many mistakes for EXPYTHONS, and EXPENGUINS capitalized.
As you did mention, yeah, it is a little bit of a nerves game. But as we did say, and we keep coming back to it, is a feel-it-out game. So we'll see how Game 2 progresses. But as it stands now, EXPYTHONS looking like the stronger team, as Friction off a nice little pass off the backboard is able to read that perfectly and slot in a 4-2 lead.
That's a great follow-up as well by Friction, and really good awareness by DX there to put it off the backboard instead of shooting it, where the defender of the EXPENGUINS team there could have saved it. So very good vision and maybe good communication as well between these two teams, or between the teams.
And I almost thought that was going to be a kickoff goal, but it does look like EXPYTHONS are shaking off the nerves a lot quicker than EXPENGUINS are. As Serenity is awkward, it's off the backboard. Can Luckstar no, Serenity reaches that, as it did look like a miss, but he's able to do a very nice recovery and almost get a counter-attack goal on it, as Hamburger pinched it across. And DX trying to pick that up, but blind demo out of nowhere. as this will open up some space in the corner as DX is waiting for a touch from Hamburger. He does get it, where Lackstar is waiting. Rocky tried to dive in and catch Lackstar off guard there. Rocky waiting for a touch. Friction puts that out wide. I don't think there was a shot for him, so it's good of him to just keep the pressure and put it out wide. Lackstar, he has an opportunity now. Hamburger's awkward off the backboard, does very nicely to read it off. A double commit from Rocky and Serenity. We'll see if this comes to anything. No, Friction puts it up on the backboard. We see the backboard defense coming out. You saw Hamburger is able to get a really nice touch off the backboard and then rotate on the backboard as he sees that EXPYTHONS are trying to really utilize that backboard play.
Yeah, EXPYTHONS definitely keeping control in the mid here, doing a really good job of keeping the ball within the EXPENGUINS half. As you know, as I say, that caster's curse, it goes the other side, and now EXPYTHONS are the ones on defense. However, that was a really good minute or two of just constant offense from EXPYTHONS. We'd like to see more of that, and that's definitely how they're going to, keep EXPENGUINS on their heels.
Yeah, as you did mention, EXPYTHONS really doing well with that midfield pressure. As EXPENGUINS have their work cut out for them. A really nice play by Serenity. Rocky, very nice meet-up between the two players on EXPENGUINS. And it's a one-goal game.
Team's definitely getting the hang of it, I think. Just getting warmed up here in the first game of the day. First game of the series, I should say. Linking up, doing the passing plays. Definitely you can see the communication is on form, it seems, with that very nice passing play.
Yes, as it does seem like EXPENGUINS are slowly but surely getting the hang of it. As they are done feeling out they all counterparts, they are ready to rock. As I say that, Rocky is up for the ball, but he does not get a touch. Serenity awkward in the net. Friction, can he get? Yes, he can get the angle. As I did say, Friction does spend a fair bit of time in ones, so he's not a stranger to really weird angles.
But slow there on the defensive rotation of EXPENGUINS. They maybe could have been a bit quicker to get back and assist their teammate who was sitting duck in net, it seemed like.
Yeah, and it was good awareness. I'm not too sure who tried to go for the demo in net, but good awareness to see that there's only one player back and he's awkward in net to try and give some space to Friction to finish off that goal. So a 2-goal lead again. Friction, he's not going to double up on that angle. As we do see this midfield play kind of dying down. Hamburger alone in the back does well to get that ball out. Blackstar has some space. Plays it up. That backboard is not met by any players. Serenity kind of being awkward and Friction going to slot in the mistake. As this game kind of picked up a lot at the end for EXPYTHONS.
Well, I think throughout the entire game, it's just been goal after goal after goal. I think we see 9 goals in this game alone. Interesting to see if the momentum stays with EXPYTHONS going into the next game, or if EXPENGUINS can bring it back.
Yeah, and as we do look at the scorecard, there's quite a few shots. The scorecard also tells us that the pressure was on by EXPYTHONS. There was a few moments where a few moments of brilliance from EXPENGUINS, where they did show like they were going to break out of this pressure from EXPYTHONS, kind of create their own midfield pressure. A few opportunities which they were able to slot. There was this play between Rocky and Serenity. Great flick and great connection on the shot. So we'll see if EXPENGUINS are able to, as we did say, and I say it again, feel it out games. You can't base the first game like the entire series isn't going to go like that first game is, unless you have a really, really strong team against a really, really bad team, which is not the case. I really do think this game too can show us something else from EXPENGUINS.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest difference between these teams is EXPYTHONS do a really good job of doing these half rotations to make sure that the pressure stays within the half of EXPENGUINS. So just making sure that the EXPENGUINS can't actually break out of their half. And I think for the EXPENGUINS, what they need to focus on is just rotating back a bit faster to assist their teammate who's in net. Because oftentimes there'll be 1 or 2 guys back, and one guy will get baited out of net and leave the other guy there. And the third man won't have time to rotate back around. So just picking up the speed of the rotations, which I think will come with time as these teams get accustomed to the environment of a tournament game.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the rotation on defense for EXPENGUINS should be picking up a little bit, because there was numerous times where there was only one EXPENGUIN player back, kind of sitting awkwardly in net, having to defend off the entire team of EXPYTHONS. So I really think that maybe fake challenges or just not throwing themselves at the ball as much, the side of X-Penguins, to kind of just bait out the play so that they're not always just one player back, kind of trying to awkwardly defend. Because we do know the 1v2 situations or 1v3 situations are not nice to be in. As we do have game 2 underway, Hamburger off the sidewall, gets a few awkward touches, trying the flip reset, does not connect, almost got the bump on Laxstar. Laxstar very quickly up for that Rocky, almost getting a touch there, but the entire defense of EXPYTHONS holding strong. As Hamburger struggling without boost. He's not going to have any yet as DX goes up early. Rocky trying to meet him, gets the touch on the ceiling, very well done as Laxstar is able to see that he has space and catch that. Trying to play it around, but Serenity has switched to the Octane. We'll see if that has any effect on his performance. I'm not sure about you fellas, but me changing cars mid-game sometimes helps, but the majority of the time it just does not feel the same. Well, you don't switch cars often, as you've only been with like 2 cars.
That's true. Yeah, I think it goes by player to player. If they feel that they need a change, then they make a change and they feel good. I mean, that's up to them. I think it's good that they know these sorts of things before they go into these tournament matches, though. So that's stuff you want to be doing in scrims, of trying out different cars in those environments, and seeing which one feels alright. Otherwise, it could just be a mentality change or mentality shift of having this new hitbox or having a new turning circle, just to reset your frame of mind.
Very, very true. And as I mentioned, we will see if that has any effect on Serenity's gameplay. Hamburger, nice demo to create some space there. Rocky not able to get a good connection on the Hamburger's quick for that sidewall read. Beats out Laxstar. Do you see quite a bit of pressure from X-Penguins this time around? It's a almost full 2 minutes of the game already gone. And Serenity with a shot on net, but Friction.
What a save.
I don't know if that was a pre-jump or he was just in the right place at the right time, but a really nice save from a really good shot. As we do see Serenity, I almost thought the angle was there for him, as this pressure is mounting for X-Penguins.
Very physical game as well. You see attackers going in for or rotating out, just getting that demo or getting a bump or just getting physical. And oh no, we see a mistake here at the midfield, but it doesn't seem like EXPYTHONS can capitalize quite from that.
As we did see, Hamburger not wanting to get that touch, but unfortunately being in the wrong place at the wrong time did almost net them, concede them a goal there. Hamburger out to Serenity. Serenity trying to get the little cherry picker there, as Hamburger's really trying to put in that demo game this match. He's trying to create some space, and I really do think that is the correct play. If he can get the right demo in the right place, that could really, and I think that's why they're able to keep their pressure, is because Hamburger's trying to put in that physical game, trying to lure out the players, chase them away, make them kind of doubt their positioning. And that's really what demos kind of do to the defense. As Hamburger is putting on that pressure, he's really being a little speedy boy this match, as you already see him on the sidewall trying to create opportunities for his team.
Well, we're still scoreless, so fruits have not come into fruition quite yet. The labor, I should say, has not come into fruition. But I guess we shall see. It seems like it's quite a close match. EXPYTHONS are doing quite well on the counterattacks to be able to deal with these demos. But again, we see X-Penguins pushing the ball up. Not too sure if they are able to keep up this pressure and keep up that demo and fast, aggressive gameplay for quite long. And if they don't, and they don't score from it, then at the end of the day, is it really that good of a strategy?
I do suppose there are a few RLCS players who would disagree with it not being worth it, Virtuoso being one of them. But yeah, so that is one thing to keep in mind. As you mentioned, the high pressure, demo heavy, physical gameplay can sometimes just be overused too much, where you can maybe not go for a demo, and it could create some real problems for you if you're not able to capitalize on demos or the high pressure. As EXPYTHONS have been holding on quite well, as DX is trying to 1v2 the entire X-Penguins team there. A little awkward from Serenity, but he's able to do well with that half flip. No boost into the corner. We'll see if he's able to get an opportunity for his team. DX trying to challenge him early. Friction also up early. Laxstar is awkward. And Hamburger's not able to connect on that shot. Slackstar is trying to mount a counterattack. Nice little backboard read. Rocky did very well to get that touch. Serenity struggling a little bit, not able to get any 100 boosts. As Hamburger, double touch incoming. He's not able to slot that. That was a really good defensive play from an EXPYTHON player. As we do say, they're trying to get this last second counterattack going. No, Serenity looking for Hamburger on the backboard. That would have been quite the play, fellas, if that actually worked.
Well, what a difference from the first game this has been. First game we had 9 goals within the 5-minute period, and now we have 0 goals within the 9-minute period, or 5 minutes. Looking like quite a lot closer. Seems that EXPENGUINS have got a bit more of a hold on the offense and able to just remove that offense from EXPYTHONS. So we'll see if they can convert this into goals. Ooh, as they almost get
really
one.
close opportunity from Serenity, and he's able to get the done.
He got it.
I will say that I saw that coming almost. It did look like the pressure got a little bit too much for the side of EXPYTHONS. The EXPENGUINS, this entire 5-minute period with that 31-second overtime looked very, very well. Like you mentioned, a completely different game from them. The pressure was completely turned around. EXPYTHONS spent the entire game basically on their end. And I think we can really commend Hamburger for that happening. Early game, he was going for demos, trying to be physical, keeping the pressure. And I think that really put that doubt in the EXPYTHONS defense and rotation, kind of hanging back a little bit, trying to see a Hamburger on the field. As if you're like driving around quite frantically, you're not able to see people coming for demos or coming for bumps. So I really do think Hamburger kind of created that doubt in the defense. Kind of hang back a little bit, and then the pressure was just mounting and mounting, and then the overtime goal, really well done.
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw in that overtime just great composure by the side of EXPENGUINS, doing great cuts in the offense to keep up that pressure, and then Serenity obviously getting that goal in the end, where it just became too much for EXPYTHONS. They didn't have enough boost quite to get that out, and maybe a bit of a mechanical mistake there as well by Lackstar. But I mean, in that sort of position, you can't really expect many people to make a tough save like that.
Exactly, and as we do get into game 3, it is currently 1-1 apiece. Game 3 is really where it matters. The team that usually goes game 3 strong goes into game 4 equally as strong. As you do see Friction, an early breakaway, 22 boost, doing very well to manage that 22 boost as he does fake out 2 players from the side of EXPENGUINS. DX with an awkward save, not able to connect on that, and Serenity nets them a very early goal.
Oh, that's a great clear there by Serenity, just making it very, very awkward for DX to get up. It looked like the ball was coming down. I was looking at his perspective. It looked like it was coming down a bit earlier than perhaps he thought. But really a good clear there by Serenity, just relieving that pressure and obviously being rewarded with a goal.
Very, very nicely done from Serenity there. As you mentioned at the start, Serenity was the guy to look out for on the side of EXPENGUINS, and he's really showing up strong for his team, getting that overtime goal and netting them an early goal, kind of giving them that safety net, just that reassurance that they 1 goal up. You know, there's no pressure on them and all pressure on EXPYTHONS now, as coming off the previous game's pressure, they need to fix something on their rotation to kind of get back that mid-game pressure we saw them have in game 1. So really see if that comes to fruition. As Rocky is beat out, Serenity has to do an awkward save. He does. Lackstar off the ceiling, no boost, not able to follow that up, and the corner boost is also not there for him. Key off the corner, not a great touch, but Hamburger does see that coming, great awareness. He's able to get that out. Serenity, awkward save, but Friction follows that up very quickly, and it's tied up.
Oh, and what a good strike there by Lackstar, just putting it in a very awkward position there for the defense to save. And again, Friction with the speed on the follow-ups. He's been very, very quick on following up those hits, just positioning himself midfield to allow for him to react to anything. So, well played to him.
As you see, it's a little bit more back and forth, but what is that? Rocky, hello, he just showed up big time. I didn't even have time to process that. As that did it didn't even come off Hamburger. That was just a clean shot by Rocky. What a play.
Wow, what a play there, coming out with a bit of a doink, you could almost say. It wasn't quite a doink, but I mean, an amazing redirect nonetheless. Cherry picker, there we go.
Yes.
There we go.
That was
That's
a
the
great cherry
terminology.
pick. I mean, a lot, kind of. What's the,
The
word
father.
I'm looking for? The father of cherry picking, exactly. Would be proud of that one, as that was a very quick response from the side of EXPENGUINS. Just as EXPYTHONS thought they just had this game, they've broken out. EXPENGUINS just return the favor. As we do see DX and Laxstar getting in each other's way. Okay, I'm not too sure what happened here. That almost looked like a Serenity save.
Oh, that looked very strange. I think Serenity accidentally forgot to turn, perhaps, on that ball. Not entirely sure, but we're tied up, I suppose. Very weird series of events there.
Yeah, that was a very, very interesting. I don't know, but it is going to be a Laxstar goal as very, very quickly EXPENGUINS seem to have lost their mojo. As a good rotation from Friction, good awareness as well to see Laxstar on the far corner there.
Yeah, both these teams very, very composed with their passing plays at the moment, definitely looking for each other across the field instead of just hitting the ball to an open space and hoping that the pressure and the offense can continue from there. So very impressed so far by both teams.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there has been quite a few passing plays, which is good to see. I think every team should be implementing or should be practicing more passing plays and being more aware of where your teammates are for passes and for plays, as that can really net you a lot of goals if a team is not ready for that. As we do see the side of EXPYTHONS kind of just netting another one. DX coming in with a great follow-up shot, and EXPENGUINS all of a sudden just they're nowhere to be seen on defense.
Sure, and DX taking hints or taking lessons there from Friction on quick follow-ups from the midfield. And we see this sort of play happening over and over again, where one player is hitting it either to the backboard or hitting it at net, forcing out an awkward ball, and another EXPENGUINS player following that up really, really quickly. So very well done on the positioning there. And what a double touch there by Hamburger, coming out with the response.
Just like that, out of nowhere, Hamburger is just like, you know what? We've got this. We're not out of this just yet. As a very, very nice double touch there from Hamburger, bringing it back to a 1-goal game. We'll see if that EXPENGUINS defense can just kind of find their stride again, as they have been struggling a little bit. Serenity meeting Friction up early. Hamburger has some space to work with. We'll see what he does. He's not able to connect with that. DX has a free shot. Rocky missing off the backboard. Hamburger have to scramble to get that. Serenity in front of net to see if Serenity is able to pick up the pressure again. As we did mention, he is the player to watch out for on the EXPENGUINS side. Laxstar trying to get a nice 50-50 out with Serenity, but not able to. Hamburger pinches it out wide to the EXPENGUINS corner. Some sustained pressure by EXPYTHONS, but I'm not too sure if this will result in a goal. No opportunities as yet, as most of them cast this curse. You know what? It's not even worth it.
It happens. You know what? It happens.
It happens to all of us.
It happens to all of us. But I mean, EXPYTHONS just a clinic, taking complete advantage of the sort of slow rotations and the boost amounts, I guess, of EXPENGUINS. Just making sure they're doing those tight rotations, getting the mid boost. And at the end, their labor brought fruits, as we say.
Very, very nice. Yeah. As I mean, the pressure. All of a sudden, EXPENGUINS were looking good at the start of this game, and then all of a sudden, this one should be open, but there's no EXPENGUINS player there. Never mind, Hamburger putting it off nicely for Serenity, and there we go, another 1-goal game. Just as I was trying to mention how EXPENGUINS just kind of fell off mid-game, and now all of a sudden, they just want to keep it a 1-goal game, I guess?
Yeah, jeepers. I mean, I was about to say it's very opposite from EXPYTHONS as to what EXPENGUINS were doing, not capitalizing on the open net, but then they obviously did. So hopefully we'll see more of that. But funnily enough, this is looking more like the first game than not. And you have to look towards the defenses as to why there's so many goals being scored. As Rocky takes out 2 defenders there and gives way for Hamburger. What a play there to tie it up 5 goals to 5.
What a play from Hamburger. Nice power shot. The rotation from EXPYTHONS not quick enough, and he was able to spot that and just put a shot on net. I mean, you don't have to clearly see the goal open. You just have to not see any blue tags close to net. And then you just shoot it close to that vicinity, and you're able to net a goal. As 2 players from Penguins up for this. Oh no, they have to scramble back as Serenity is back with no boost. Rocky, very, very nice interference there, just kind of slowing down the EXPYTHONS counter-attack. Serenity, very nice 50. Is he able to get another one? No, Lackstar is able to put it up high. Lackstar out to the corner to DX. Very nice passing play, but DX is not able to get that on target. Lackstar out to the corner, where DX is trying to muscle away 2 players from Penguins. Friction has to go up for this, and this is a 5-goal game. Another overtime, maybe? I don't know about you fellas, but I'm smelling an overtime.
It seems like it. Well, it looks like the ball's gonna drop here, and yes, it is. We see a 5-5 overtime. Last game we had a 0-0 overtime, so quite the contrast here. I guess we'll see how teams can adapt in this overtime, either keeping up the pressure, making maybe less careless mistakes. I guess we'll see, and whoever makes the first mistake, is it going to be a goal? And I might have just answered that question. Oh, never mind. DX
Not
unfortunately
today.
couldn't get there.
No, oh, but this
wait,
might
never
result
mind.
in a goal, and there it is. Rocky showing up big time for the side of Penguins. And again, Lackstar just being that third man, being in overtime. I'm not sure if the pressure maybe got to him again, because I know from personal experience, when it's overtime and you're third man, you're thinking, oh no, do I go quick or do I play it safe? And most of the time you never make the right decision.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one for sure, because Serenity got a great dunk there, and it just went high flying into the midfield, and I guess it was Rocky, I think, who
Yes.
cleaned that up at the end. So unfortunate there for Lackstar. Perhaps could have waited a bit, maybe could have wasted a bit more time, but then you have to, ask the question, does Rocky have a really good shot, or does he have a good shot that's going to go top left corner that is unsavable? So a very difficult position there. And I think, again, it's just the defensive rotations and defensive mistakes that is really getting these teams and allowing these like high-scoring games. So we'll see if any of these teams can actually fix those mistakes and get out of their defense quicker, because I think that's going to be the winning formula in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, as part of overtime, I think EXPYTHONS got a little bit too overeager there at the end, kind of trying to finish off the game as quickly as possible. And that kind of just made Lackstar be the third man, being awkward. And as you mentioned, he has so many factors to take into account being in that position that it's quite tough to make the right one. But again, well done from Penguins, netting the second overtime, being 2-1 up in the series in a game in a best of 5. So as we mentioned, game 3 is where it really matters. But again, that should have been EXPYTHONS game. We saw them having great pressure, capitalizing off mistakes from Penguins, and then conceding these easy to save or easy rotational saves, and just not being able to close out the game.
Yeah, well, all the pressure now is on EXPYTHONS, because they are now in a match game deficit, where if they lose this next game, then that's the series then done for them. They have to win this game and obviously the next game, but the pressure is on them to change up something, try and ice these players out. And you know what? This could be a strategy. It seems like we have a bit of a delay. You start to think, well, is this a strategy from EXPYTHONS to ice out, as the saying goes, Penguins? Because it seems like Penguins have the momentum now. What do you think on that, Skill, as the players do join up?
Well, that would be quite the marketing strategy if it's indeed what they were thinking of. Kind of just, making Penguins think, they got this in the bag, and then making them overconfident. But I'm not too sure that's the case. I'm thinking it's leaning the opposite way. You've just given away a 2-goal lead twice to also then lose the lead in overtime on a 5-apiece game. I'm thinking that's not sitting too well with the EXPYTHONS side. We'll see how that plays out with their mentality. And again, Hamburger coming out with those demos, but Rocky's not able to connect. DX also not able to connect on that open net. That was crucial that he sunk that early in the game. Kind of net them that, get that pressure away from them. As that was really, really crucial for DX to slot. As we do see Rocky in the corner there, just trying to relieve pressure. Hamburger also switched over to the Fennec. As less and less players, you take that little smirk off your face, fellas. You are the Fennec main. As it is interesting to see though, as in my ranked games as well, you see less and less Octane players and more Fennec players, and it's the same hitbox. I'm thinking people just like the way the Fennec looks. I'm not too sure what the mentality is behind that.
It could be yes. No, yes. I think we have 5 Fennecs on this field and a single Octane. So we'll see if the single Octane can can be victorious in this match. Oh no, we have 2 Octanes. There's Serenity in the Octane. I missed that. Oh, and as the Octane gets the goal, so perhaps your theory skill is not all that valid.
Yeah.
Serenity doing really well though with the solo play, getting it around 2 players and putting it into the open net. And again, EXPENGUINS continuing with this momentum. We'll see if EXPYTHONS can stop it out, but at the rate it's going, EXPENGUINS are going to win the series.
Yeah, and as we also already mentioned, pressure is mounting for EXPYTHONS. They just lost 2 overtime games, and they already conceded of a play from Serenity there, knowing that DX had an opportunity earlier this game, really good opportunity at that. I'm thinking this pressure is going to get to them if they don't kind of bunker down. And I get that as Lackstar has an opportunity out to Friction, but is met by Rocky really, really quickly. As DX, I think there was a little bumping situation there on the side of EXPYTHONS. As Rocky gets beat out by Friction, Serenity just jumping over, avoiding that demo. DX out to the mid. Hamburger not able to connect, but there was an EXPENGUINS player to save him from that. Into the corner, low boost, Friction meeting him there, and also a pinch, but Serenity gets the awkward touch. Really well done. Defense is holding on for EXPENGUINS. It's EXPYTHONS trying to find their foot on offense, but it doesn't look like they're generating any opportunities that would find them threatening at all.
Oh, we speak about a Bim Bam playstyle, and it seems that both of these teams are adopting as... Oh, goodness, I almost ate my words. And oh my goodness, what a save.
Almost ate it twice.
Almost ate it twice. Oh goodness, okay, well, never mind. Then DX, you get it's a great read. As I was saying, we spoke about the Bim Bam playstyle of no team really have midfield possession, and it seems like these teams at the moment are just kind of hitting the ball forward and hoping something happens. I'd like to see them maybe return a bit more to the controlled, measured passing ways that they were executing so well in the first 2 or 3 games.
Oh, for sure. And finally, we see DX slotting away. He had 2 prior opportunities, not able to sink them, but when it matters most, it does seem like he does come through. Friction is forced to play that one out wide. DX, last man back, has to fight off Serenity, but he doesn't know it. But Serenity doesn't get the demo. An attempted ceiling pinch there from Hamburger, not taking into a 2v1 for Serenity. He's able to get that defense down. As again, Serenity kind of seeming to be all over the place for the side of EXPENGUINS. When they need him in defense, he's there. When he's on offense, he's there. Just as I say, when they need him in defense. Fellas, I'm going, this is crazy. Why am I even
I don't know what's
this?
going on. I don't know what's going on, Skill. This is seeming like a repetition of Game 1 and Game 3, where EXPYTHONS went up early. They went up a couple goals early, and then they got, obviously the EXPENGUINS came back. So we'll see if EXPYTHONS can finally hold on to a lead, because that's kind of what they've been struggling with in this series.
Oh, if Rocky connected to that and they scored, it would have been so funny. Because I mean, this series has just been cast a curse all over the place. As we do see DX low boost, Serenity is going to challenge him early, but DX is able to get that out. Will Hamburger be able to get this? No Friction, just off the side post there. As again, teams seem to be a little bit boost starved on the offense. When plays start generating, there's no one really on offense that has the boost for it. As Rocky trying to beat out Lackstar there, but Lackstar is aware of the incoming player. Lackstar again out to the mid. DX kind of trying to play it slow there, lure out 2 players from EXPENGUINS. Does not work out well for him. Rocky trying to beat out quick. Lackstar with an open net. Is Seren to be able to... No, he's not going to be able to get back. And EXPYTHONS up by 2 off a misrotation from EXPENGUINS.
Jeepers, and that's a bit unfortunate there. I think with a defensive rotation. I was going to say I like these bumping plays that EXPENGUINS are going for. Every time an EXPYTHON player has the ball, an EXPENGUINS player is trying to bump another player. So they're trying to keep up that aggressive playstyle and stick with it. But unfortunately, it does leave them out of position, which is what we saw there, with Hamburger being way too pushed up, and obviously Serenity going for the boost. We'll see if they can hold on though for 15 seconds. Laxo trips up on the post and Hamburger gets one, and it is within 1 goal. 12 seconds. Can they do it?
Alive. Can they do it? We will have to see. Judging from EXPYTHON's performance in these closing seconds and overtime, I'm not going to call it 100% set for them. As you did mention, just to add on that, the bumping plays and physical plays that Hamburger and EXPENGUINS are going for, when that does not work out, you see them being out of rotation, not being back on defense, which is what caused that goal to go in. As I almost thought that there was going to be another offensive play, but it does look like EXPYTHONS, are they going to be able to close out the 0 seconds? Yes, they will. Lackstar not confident enough to keep that going, and EXPYTHONS closing out a very, very important game 4. I mean, they didn't have a choice, but still, it was very important that they finally close out a game and not lose out a 2-goal lead and then also concede in overtime.
Sure, and what a series this has been. It's been back and forth between these two teams. It seems like EXPYTHONS finally have got over that boundary or that hurdle of keeping a lead and not allowing EXPENGUINS to take advantage of their defensive mistakes when it comes into the later game. It seems like they might get a bit complacent when they have a lead in the EXPYTHONS team of getting this lead and then not being able to follow through and keep it. But I guess we'll see if that same behavior continues into Game 5, as this is the ultimate game. Whoever wins this will win the series. I think we have a bit of a server maintenance going on, so just waiting for the server to get back up.
Good stuff, Cybernix. Like we're not used to that. But yeah, I mean, so coming up to Game 5, so you asked me at the beginning, who do I think is going to close out this series? And I am part of X Gaming, so I can be as biased as I want to. You know what? I think I'm going to side with EXPYTHONS. I think EXPENGUINS' defense, in times when it really mattered, didn't really come through for them. I really do think once EXPYTHONS starts steamrolling and getting those clears out, they really close out a series, and also connecting with those passes and just being in the right place. I really do think EXPENGUINS kind of over-rotate themselves, being out of position. I'm not sure your opinion, fella, so who do you think is going to close out the series?
Well, I think since you've gone with EXPYTHONS, I'm going to go with EXPENGUINS.
You just had to do it, didn't you?
I had to do it. It is on. If you're going on a EXPYTHONS win, then EXPENGUINS win, then EXPYTHONS win, then EXPENGUINS win. Wait, no, it didn't go like that.
EXPYTHONS won the first.
That analogy, that analogy doesn't quite make sense. Well, anyways, I still want to go with EXPENGUINS. I like their playstyle at the moment. It seems like they're still getting to grips with the bumps. And just sorting out their defensive rotations when it comes to, after you've bumped someone, where do you go? Well, you have to have boost first off, and obviously get back. But as long as they can keep the ball away from EXPYTHONS long enough for them to rotate back and get their full team involved in the defense, then I think they'll be good, because their offense definitely is at the level, or if not higher, than EXPYTHONS.
So judging from what you've seen, so you mentioned you like their bumping and physical playstyle. Judging from what you've seen them execute on that and how they've executed that playstyle, do you think they can get it done in a Game 5?
Ooh, it's tough, because Game 5 is going to be high pressure, and generally when it comes to high pressure situations, the team with the more passive playstyle is going to win. You look at LANs, where teams go to LANs, and the more aggressive and the more in-your-face teams and more mechanical teams don't perform as well, just because their players are either a bit too nervous or it's a different environment. And the teams with a strong foundation and strong rotations are usually going to be the victors in that scenario. So I think that is going to be difficult for Ex-Penguins, but it's just one match at the end of the day, so you never really know.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's funny that you mentioned that it is game 5, high pressure, and teams that usually do that play style don't close out series, and then you still go for the team that does that play.
It's the underdog. It's the underdog, man. Come on, you got to support the underdog at some points, even
So
when all the odds are stacked against them.
So do you relate with their play style? Is that what you're saying?
Do I relate? That's debatable. That is very debatable. I think that's a discussion for another time.
All right, no problem. As we do see the cars appear on the field for a game 5, so we get this one underway. We do see Rocky up early to get a defensive touch. DX trying to meet Hamburger up there, and Hamburger back to the Octane. I've seen quite a few players do that, where they switch out for one game to another card just to kind of reset the mindset. As you mentioned, some players find it useful, others don't really find the difference. But I personally have found that just switching out one game to maybe a Dominus or a Fennec or any other card just kind of resets that mindset, that hitbox feeling. And it seems like Hamburger is trying to implement that. We'll see if that has anything in store for him. Some early pressure from EXPYTHONS. See if Ex-Penguins is able to hold on. For the moment, they are. Hamburger low boost, able to beat out Lackstar. There's a dead ball going out to the side wall. DX getting demoed. There's the physical play that you mentioned from Serenity. It's usually Hamburger that does that job, as DX very nice composure in defense, knowing that he could get a very nice clear out. Serenity, maybe a mistouch into mid. No, a mistouch from Friction, as he was trying to get that onto the backboard. DX has to scramble to get this one out the side. He does well. Serenity alone in the back. His teammates are rotated back now. Serenity kind of like a pinch out into the net side for Friction to collect. Blackstar out into the corner. Serenity, nice leave there for Hamburger. Good communication from the teams as well. There's moments of where you kind of sense that they are communicating well with each other. I mean, we've seen the passing play, so obviously they must be communicating pretty well. Kind of like a good understanding of where each other are on the field. It obviously not always is the case, but most of the time, okay. Interesting. I'm not even able to say anything else.
This was an interesting flick there by Handler, getting a backwards diagonal flick, it seems there. I think just confusing the defense, to be perfectly honest. I think one thing I'd like to see, especially from Ex-Penguins, even though they have scored, is just rotating a bit further back, because they're putting themselves in awkward positions in defense, and it's making their touches just become super awkward, as we see there. Obviously, Hamburger having to take it from Serenity. If maybe they were a bit better positioned, then they could have started a counterattack. But now, obviously, we see EXPYTHONS continuing with this offense, and, well, my point proven, there's Friction. Imagine that.
Who would have thought? A very nice pinch of the sidewall from DX, just kind of putting that ball into an awkward spot. And as you mentioned as well, Friction very, very quick with those follow-ups. And when his team needed him most, he did follow up quick. A very quick response as well from EXPYTHONS, and we're back to where we started. As DX, almost thought that was going to be a very awkward goal. This one has to be collected by Rocky. He's going to be met by Friction in the corner. Serenity again, low boost. Serenity is struggling a little bit to get more than 12 boost, it seems. Hamburger's alone in the back, but he does well. Very, very good composure from Hamburger. They're being third man as well. And his team needed him. On the sidewall now. Serenity just diving down from the ceiling again, using all his boost. I'm thinking that was maybe not what he was intending to use. As Hamburger again, we're just seeing this physical play just being like amplified in this game 5. Hamburger's hungry for these players.
Yeah, and well, look, it worked. I mean, Hammy just completely left the play and went for all three of the EXPYTHONS defenders there. And I mean, it gave them enough time. Blackstar just spawned, so for him to get into that saving position was going to be hard. So I mean, it's working for the most part. They are 2-1 up. There is, however, 2 minutes left, so you can't really say that EXPENGUINS have it in the bag. I guess we shall see.
As we did
In the
mention,
next
that, as soon as one team builds up a lead, if it's EXPENGUINS, then EXPYTHONS scores off of an EXPENGUIN misrotation, and if it's EXPYTHONS in the lead, then they score off of an overcommit from EXPYTHONS. So it's going to be really, really nice to see how this game develops. As Rocky does collect this off the sidewall, he goes for a fancy play. He does get it. Laxstar off the crossbar. Ooh. Maybe trying to squishy that, I'm not too sure, but very, very well done to recover and get the save. It was really crucial that he does, because if EXPYTHONS go down by 2 goals, I'm not too sure that they'll be able to have the offensive pressure or opportunities to catch up. As Friction
that's so
puts
unlucky.
that off the crossbar, not what he wanted to do.
Well, it's crunch time. There's 40 seconds left. EXPYTHONS have to make a move. It's getting to that time where they sort of have to commit everything. They can't really be sitting back and waiting for counterattacks to happen. So at the end of the day, EXPENGUINS, all they have to do is waste time.
That is very true, but I mean, judging from Hamburger's playstyle, he's not in any mood to be wasting any time.
Not today.
Yeah, it is interesting that you mentioned that. I mean, EXPYTHONS, it's counting down 15 seconds. They either put it in their all or they wait for a mistake. But that's a big risk you have to take, and it's counting down 5 seconds. Will EXPYTHONS be able to generate anything at this point to get themselves a goal? Does not look like it's going to go the route. Okay, we have EXPENGUINS winning out the series. Very, very well done. As Falliser does get his prediction correct. But I mean, it was a really close series all around, very back and forth, and I think it was just natural selection for EXPENGUINS. I mean, EXPYTHONS took game 1, then EXPENGUINS, and then EXPYTHONS again, and then we saw EXPENGUINS close it out. So it was kind of, if EXPENGUINS won the first game, it would have been an EXPYTHON win if you think about it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, again, yeah, really, really close series. I think both these teams can be very proud of their performance. And it really came down to the wire. Basically, EXPENGUINS just, as we mentioned, Hamburger just being that physical and demo-heavy player made EXPYTHONS doubt their rotation, made them a little bit sketchy to go up for anything or to over-rotate. Trying to, because think about it this way. So you're the player behind the player that's getting demoed. You're not going to be rushing out. You're maybe going to think, what if he gets demoed? Then I'm out of rotation. So it kind of just plays on your mind a little bit. So very, very well played from EXPENGUINS.
Absolutely, and I think definitely either of these teams could take the series. It's just whoever shows up in the game or on the day. So very well done to both these teams. I think that this actually puts EXPENGUINS in good stead. To the actually no it doesn't, I lied. It doesn't quite put them in good enough stead, but the pool B for VS is very, very close, it seems, at the moment, between 2nd place and 8th place, to be perfectly honest. Still quite a few games to be played for both these teams, so we'll see if any of them can clutch a top 2 spot alongside XD, who seem to have secured their top 2 spot. Again, top 2 from each of the pools will be promoting to the Premier Division, which will be the top 8 teams in the country. So we shall see if any of these 2 teams can't get to that position. What's your thoughts on that, Skill?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, top 2 from each pool go to the Prem Division. And if EXPYTHONS, this was their 6th game, so they still have 2 games that they can play. And currently in 2nd for Pool B is MLGC Goats, sitting at 8 games played and points of 17. So EXPYTHONS, they still have a chance at being top 2. I think that's a really strong contention for them. But that's judging if they can close out the next 2 games that they have remaining. EXPENGUINS, a really good showing from them. I mean, being from the same org, they're probably going to be tuning each other now. Yeah, we needed those points, and but it's all good fun. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing if EXPYTHONS can clutch out that 2nd spot.
Well, I think we should probably call it there. I think everyone keep your eyes out for more streams in the future. Definitely going to be casting and hosting a couple more of these VS games as it comes to the end period of the qualifiers. And thereafter, we'll be looking into the Premier Division, First Division, and Second Division, and seeing which teams can come victorious and eventually win VS. But we shall see what that happens. I think that thanks for everyone for coming. Obviously, the players and the viewers for all being here. Thanks to Comcopy and Expanders or X Gaming, I should say, for hosting the stream. Any last words, Skill?
I think you've pretty much covered it all. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming out, and thank you Falasa for being the best color caster that could be on the day.
My honor.
I think that is it. Thank you everyone for coming out. As Falasa said, check us or just check in regularly to see any more streams. There will be some more, and we'll check you guys next time.
Here I am again, floating through the silence in my cold skin. My body is wearing thin. I feel slowly unraveling. My body is wearing thin. And there's darkness here. The whole world I fear. And my room must seem to drown. But I won't let them take me down. I won't let them take me down. I won't let them take me down. And I'll fall again, fighting off the violence in my cold skin. My body is wearing thin. I feel slowly unraveling. My body is wearing thin. And there's darkness here. The whole world I fear. And my room must seem to drown.
Every loss I can't reclaim, our steps retraced from when we went our separate ways. I've missed these days. I never thought we'd see this place again. I know the feelings always fade, but nothing else can make me stay. It's not too late for us to slip away. I know the feelings always fade, move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's solve it tonight. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more. So baby, let's solve it tonight. Let me get funky.
Let's lose our mind.
Let me get funky. Let me get funky. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's solve it tonight. We gon' make you move. We gon' make you move.
Constantly changing my mind. Feels like I'm burning inside. Will it ever be different? Will we always be distant?